Gibraltar's COVID-19 case statistics are unchanged from yesterday. 10 confirmed cases with 2 recoveries. 46 swabs are pending results. The total number done is 146, with 90 returned negative. However, the Chief Minister said that Gibraltar is still only at the beginning, not in lockdown, but closer to the potential for it. He said the government can only engage further civil contingencies powers if it has expert advice that this will help, but that right now it has confirmed it is taking the right measures. He called on people, especially the youth, to act responsibly, saying, if you organise any parties and gatherings against public health advice, you're an idiot.
I want to direct myself to young people. Young people know that we're trying to protect some of the people that are most precious to them, their grandparents or indeed some elderly parents. Already I have reports that this weekend people are planning parties despite bars, restaurants and nightclubs being closed. If we started to see that large congregations of people are continuing, despite there being already a ban on those large congregations, we would have to act. We would have to act to protect you and to protect your loved ones. We would not want to have to act. Please, for a couple of weekends, perhaps longer, but for now for a couple of weekends, apply to yourselves the rules of lockdown, even though we are not in lockdown. Try and help us to help everybody in our community. If you don't do that, you're an idiot. You don't realise how important this is. We're trying to save lives. We're not just trying to stop people from enjoying themselves. We're trying to stay in a way where we don't have to make an order to shut Gibraltar down. If you don't comply with those rules and you think you're better and you think you're funnier, you're a fool, you're an idiot, don't do it.
Mr. Picardo added Gibraltar now has sufficient swabs necessary for the GHA to carry out all the testing it's advised to do. Dr. Awal said the final piece of equipment needed to carry out in-house testing has cleared customs and is due over the weekend. In response to GBC questions, the Chief Minister added the government would support and enforce by law, if necessary, the GHA's call for urgently needed medical items.
The important thing is that they should be available to those members of the public that most need these resources. We're going into a stage where we all need to work together in this community to ensure that those most in need of any particular piece of equipment or any medication should be the ones to first access it. This is not the normal operation of a market economy. This is a situation of a national crisis, and for that reason the government fully supports, endorses and will give the force of law if necessary to the requirements of the Gibraltar Health Authority.
The items being requested by the GHA include masks, gloves, sanitizers, paracetamol and inhalers.
In the last couple of weeks, certainly, almost in parallel perhaps with some of the demand on the supermarkets, there's been incredible demand on the pharmacies. People have been requesting not only their prescriptions but stockpiling of other items. The problem with that, of course, is then the pharmacies are running out because they have their own supply. And now what they would have anticipated perhaps 2, 3, 4, maybe even 6 months worth of supply for one patient has now disappeared off the shelves, potentially leaving people without medication. Medication is a perfect example. For example, let me just give you a simple example. Salbutamol, which is a Ventolin inhaler. Everybody's worried about that one particular one. Paracetamol is another one that everybody's worried about. And of course, actually, we run short, funnily enough, of supplies. But then we would talk also about the kind of the headline stuff that everybody's talking about, masks, gloves. So really what we're then doing is saying, please try not to worry about these things, and we're trying to control them so the clinical teams can use them.
Following reports that items such as thermometers are going missing at St. Bernard's, Dr. Awal confirmed greater scrutiny was now in place at the hospital.
I agree, I've not heard any reports about thermometers going missing. There was an incident a few weeks ago where some surgical masks went missing, but we engaged very quickly with the Royal Gibraltar Police, asked them to come in and to investigate where those surgical masks had gone to. Since then, the high items we talked earlier about, high value items, I suppose you could call them, or the important items, such as the masks, the gloves, the suits, we've put those under much closer scrutiny. I accept the fact that perhaps a few weeks ago people were gripped in a certain level of panic, but actually since then we've had no reports. All of our consumables and all of our items have been very safely looked after, And all I can say is that all the GHA staff now absolutely fully realise the importance of all of these items. And in fact, more so, they now realise the importance of actually safeguarding these items because they're for the patients.
If at this difficult time in the history, instead of rowing together with the rest of the community, you've decided to pilfer, to put your hand in the till, to put your hand in the sanitizer stock, or to otherwise take home that which is paid for by the taxpayer for those who need it the most in hospital, then frankly you don't deserve to call yourself a Gibraltarian. This is a time where we're really looking to work together. In Parliament today, people who disagree on just about everything have been able to agree in the common interest of Gibraltar. In our community, I see the golden thread of what we are, that this community that is so strong at these difficult times. If there are one or two who are acting in that way, they really need to look into themselves and ask themselves who they really are.
The Chief Minister also drew attention to the UK government's announcement of the details of GCSE and A-level assessments.
That the UK government has just made an announcement on .gov.uk, which I have trailed in my social media, announcing a twofold approach to assessments for GCSE, AS and A-level examinations. Grades, they have announced, will be calculated based on mock exams, non-exam assessment and prior attainment, and students unhappy with their calculated grade can sit an exam early in the next academic year. That is a précis of a lengthy document that they have put online, which you can access initially through my social media and no doubt through the Department of Education in slower order.
Mr. Picardo also announced that the Department for Housing would be closing its public counters from Monday. All government housing services will be available online, by email, by phone or by post.